what was your craziest drug experience?
My family's been running this smoke shop for like years and years, and this person's come in multiple times, and like they're chill, but they can't stand still. There's only one. There's some other ones that have been really fucking crazy. The person came in and they're obviously on meth something, but you know they're chill. They just can't fucking sit still. So they're asking because we had this thing called a monkey vape where you could like fucking like transform it. So it was like a little cube and you could transform it and shit. But the little glass bottle on it breaks really easily when you heat it up and cool it down because you know fucking science and shit like that. So he came in, but he's like, man, do you guys still got the monkey vapes? And he's like scratching and shit like that because he can't sit still. And obviously, you know, we give him the bottle and shit, and he's like chill, but he can't fucking sit still. And another story is one time, I think, but when my sister was working here, there was a guy and he was bending down to point something, and he just started folding. He started fend folding.
Just straight up, just fend folding.
Yeah, he was like.
What?
It was like that, and he was out of it. There have been a lot of other people that come in just really loud. A big problem here where I am is meth. In Wisconsin, there's a big meth problem. So come in, fucking the amount of drunk people too. Oh my god, the amount of drunk people I've heard screaming, fighting at each other outside is fucking crazy because we live right next, or the store's right next to a bar. So, you know, drunk people come in, talk about fucking bunch of nonsense. Sometimes we've had to kick them out because they're just fucking nuisances. But like the meth thing, you'll see people come in we have this thing called a straight, and this for smoking meth, and they have no teeth. For like 3. So not any teeth. It's fucking crazy. I kind of grew up around the shop because it's where my parents own it. My parents have owned this place for fucking 22 years, 23 years now. You know, when I was born, fucking halfway when like the shop was like, I don't know, fucking 15 years old, something like 16 years old or whatever. You know, I just grew up around it, so I got, you know, used to it when I started working there. And it has calmed down. Like back in the day, it was a lot worse when we had like tattoo artists and shit like that, because they would also get high and they would also smoke, and they were also a problem. But then we got rid of them and it toned down. But, you know, now the problem is just the people outside of the world that just are junkies.
I did have an interaction with a tweaker once, actually, at a McDonald's. I unfortunately live in an area where there's a bunch of
No, you don't.
people like that. I was at a McDonald's with my boyfriend at the time. This guy, he was approaching each person for like $5. When they said no, he would just crash out on them and like start saying a bunch of stuff. Then he came to me and my boyfriend at the time, and he asked us for like $5, and we were like, no, we don't have any cash on us. And then he crashed out, and yeah, it wasn't a good experience, really. It was actually kind of scary because like the moment he saw like I made a face, he tried to bug at me, like be threatening. Broad daylight, actually. I was actually surprised. We're just not gonna go in there again.
I have a couple of cousins, and usually we get together every now and then. We live in separate places, so when we do get together, it's pretty funny. And we usually stay at an Airbnb for a couple of weeks together, and we run off of caffeine, nicotine, and alcohol. It's hilarious. Let's just say from so much nicotine you kind of start feeling sick, and mixed with the alcohol it's not too much fun. But one night I was having a bit too much fun, and I ended up having a couple too many martinis. The last thing that I remember was that I stood up and I fell down and I hit some sort of chair, I guess on the back of my neck or back, and then you wake up the next morning and I was like, what the fuck happened? And I was on my bed. I vomited because I felt it, and it was like, I thought it was cake or something, like a tortilla, I don't know. And I get up, and I walk over to the living room, and my sister tells me, like, what happened to you? I'm like, what do you mean? And she's taking a look at me, and she tells me, look at your arm, look at your shirt, and it was covered with vomit. Thankfully, that's just the craziest thing, but I had a bruise at the back of my neck, and I'm just happy I didn't get paralyzed. But it's pretty scary when you get blackout because you don't remember shit. You don't know if you could have died, you know? I'm pretty thankful with it, but it just makes me a little more mindful of when I do drink. Makes me remember you could fall and hit your head and maybe not wake up ever again when you're under the influence, you know? So it does kind of make me weary of that. When you start feeling the buzz, stop drinking and drink some water for at least 30 minutes. That's my rule now.
So there was this one time that me and my brother, we both got these fucking Rocket gas station gummies. We took two of them, and mind you, these bitches were 1,000 milligrams. We took two of them I took two of them in an hour and a half, and my brother took two of them at the same fucking time. Just chunk them bitches down. We were waiting, and at first it was like nothing's happening, but an hour later, it was just a fucking smack to the goddamn face. We were fucking blitzed. It was crazy. And last thing I remember was I went to sleep because I was like, I'm not dealing with this shit. This is too much. So I was not having it. It was not a good high. It was too much. It was too overstimulating. So I went to sleep and I started having some very, very, like, I don't want to say I was tripping, but it was definitely like trippy visuals whenever I was closing my eyes. So I would see a lot of different fucking crazy things. It was crazy. My brother, on the other hand, he went into fucking psychosis. He freaked the fuck out completely. He was struggling that night. I swear to God. I think his girlfriend almost broke up with him, and he started freaking out. And he literally went into psychosis and said he wasn't feeling real, and that things were coming after him, gonna kill him. Last thing I remember, he had already had a lot of prior issues before because he was a what are they called? Not a prison guard, a correctional officer in a prison, and apparently he got extremely traumatized in there. So I'm guessing he had some underlying conditions, especially things like traumas that he did not heal from. I'm guessing them gas station gummies just hit the wrong fucking place. I think after that moment, he legitimately just stopped smoking. I fucking regret that shit. I don't regret smoking weed because I can handle myself on a certain amount, but I could not handle myself on that. If I took one of those gummies and went to work, I would get fired. It's really bad to say, but I gave some of them to whenever I was a kid in school, I got them. You know, kids in school, they fucking smoke weed. They take edibles. I gave them to some of my friends, and they took it in school, and they were like, "Holy shit, dude, what did you give me?" I was like, "My bad."
You've taken these multiple times.
Yeah, I mean, they're $5. They were cheap gas station weed. It was they did the job. They got you high. But usually, you're supposed to only take little bits of it, right? Little parts at a time, not the whole thing, and especially not two. What I did was a fucking dumb decision. I mean, you live, you learn, you know? Some people have higher tolerances than others, so it's they can handle themselves more than others, but if you are inexperienced and taking large doses, don't fucking do it. Just don't. Wait until you can get to that level, or just don't get to that level. I think it's better, personally, to stay at a level that is just not a fucking complete addict trying to blow out his brain cells. So, it was THCP, which is known as the fake weed. But it has some sort of property in it. It's not exactly CBD, because regular CBD, it doesn't make you high. It makes you relaxed, and a lot more calm. But if you smoke CBD compared to THC, there's a clear difference. So I think this has some of either the terpenes in it. It's just really weird, but it works. I think a common feature between THCP is it'll definitely give you a headache, a really nasty headache. With good weed, you really rarely won't get a headache.
So whenever I was in high school, me and my buddies were going to go pick up some edibles. Now, I didn't really do edibles, so I was just there for support, whatever. They wanted a third man in the car. Now, I don't condone this by any means, but my buddy in the car, he didn't tell us that some of the money in his stack wasn't legitimate bills. So my dude hands him the cash, we get the edibles, and my buddy starts tapping the driver we gotta go. And I'm sitting there what the fuck is going on? So my buddy takes 5 whole minutes to back the fuck out this driveway, excuse my language, and we peel off. I was like, why didn't you say something? Blah, blah, blah. Bro was like, I didn't want you to worry. And that was probably one of the crazy experiences I've had, just because I wasn't aware of what was happening.
Did the dealer find out those were fake bills?
Oh yeah, I mean, almost instantly. So it was a woman and I think her son. So they were kind of a little white ratchet kind of family, unfortunately. So they went to count it. I think she realized it after maybe feeling it. But we haven't even started backing up yet by the time she's walking to the car to come figure out what's up. So we just peel off. We made direct eye contact. The second we were peeling off, she realized it. She looked directly at me as we were peeling out the driveway in reverse. When I got back to the house, they were all belted, so they had to stick them in the freezer for a little bit. But from what they told me, it was pretty good. Well, my buddy had some pretty convincing prop money in hundreds, so we got a few bags of edibles and stuff like that. So maybe around over 100 or so. Some of it was real money, so the first few bills, 20, then the 100, and I think there was an actual real 100 in there too, but it's been a long time, so I feel like if I knew about it, I could have been a lot more prepared, and I wouldn't say willing, but less against it. But the driver had no idea. Bro was freaking out. It was kind of fun when we got to the highway. We laughed about it, and it's funny to laugh at now. So nobody got hurt, and some ratchet white family lost some edibles. Guess the world still spins, right? I don't think I regret it. Don't scam the dealer. Come on now. Don't be that guy. I don't condone it. It makes you a piece of shit to steal from other people, despite who they may be or where they're at in life, right? Know who your buddy's talking to. If he gets you somewhere and you got to go with your buddy somewhere, make sure you know exactly what's going on and what exactly you're doing.
I was living on my own in this apartment back in 2019, doing my thing, working, and I was surfing the apps, man. I was trying to find whatever I could because your boy's out there. And I started hooking up with this girl, sweet girl. We didn't stay together very long, but, we kind of had a little side thing going on. And I would go over to kick it with her every now and then. We both smoke weed. And so one day I was like, hey, why don't we have like a pizza and movie day and we can get high and chill and have a good time? And she was like, bet. I get over there and we order some pizza, and she said, my friend actually grows and makes his own weed and like edibles and vape juice and stuff. And she had some of these lemonade shots. And I was thinking, all right, cool. I'm not a huge stoner, but I do smoke, and so we are chilling on her bed and we're watching, we put in Spirited Away, the Miyazaki film, which is phenomenal if you haven't seen it. And we're eating pizza, and these little lemonade shots, they came in kind of like these little like sauce containers you get at a fast food joint that you can make Jello shots in. They weren't very big. And so I'm asking her, like, how much THC is in this? Do you have any idea? Because I'm not trying to go to the moon. I'm just trying to chill. And she's like, well, I don't know, but I can take one of them and feel fine. Like, okay, like I feel good. I have a good time on one. So I'm thinking, okay, well, I don't think she's like a hardcore stoner, so how bad could it be? So down the hatch, and it was tasty, and I was like, all right, cool, we'll just see how this goes. And so we're eating pizza and we're watching the movie, and probably 45 minutes into the movie, I realized that my body has disappeared. I can't feel anything, and not like the numbness you feel when you're sleeping on your leg and your foot goes numb and you gotta like shake it awake and there's a weird sort of pressure and everything. Like, my brain had no connection or concept of where my torso and limbs were or what they were doing. It was really weird. I'm trying to keep it together because the last thing I want to do is have a fucking panic attack with this girl. So I'm just like, all right, cool. We're really fucking high. Let's just breathe. We're going to keep breathing. That's the important thing. And we're going to watch this movie. Well, I don't know if you've seen Spirited Away, but shit gets weird in it. And not even in like a scary way or anything, but there's just like crazy visuals and the art is really bold and stylish, and there's all these like creature effects, and it's wild. I'm beginning to freak out a little bit. I can tell my heart rate is going up, and I'm watching this movie, and like Yubaba is flying at my face and screaming, and I'm like, okay, maybe we could just like turn our head a little and not look directly at the screen. And shit keeps happening, and I keep ramping up, and I'm trying my best to keep it cool. And I don't remember when I broke, but eventually I looked to my girl and I'm like, hey, I need you to like talk to me. I need you to like say things to me because I don't know where I am. I'm on the fucking moon, dog. She starts laughing at me, and bless her, she kept it cool. She helped me out. She just started like telling me about her weekend and talking about like her favorite Miyazaki films, and I'm just like, I'm in a tomb of my own body, unable to make sense of things. I could move my arms and everything, but like it felt like I was watching TV. while I was doing so. You know, I had no, like, the connection of my mind to body was obliterated. And so for the next hour, I just sat there having a mini panic attack, like breathing hard, trying to get through this movie, and she's giggling at me and telling me stories. And eventually we got through it. I started to come down, but I was like, holy fuck. And I was like, how many of those do you have in a sitting? She's like, oh, I can do like 1, 2, sometimes I do 3. And I'm like, god damn, woman. How are you alive? I don't know how, like, I know weed isn't technically able to kill you with an overdose unless you go fat fucking insane with it. But Jesus, there has to be an upper limit where the body is eventually like, whoa, dog, enough's enough. I know I found my limit. I don't know where hers was, though. I wouldn't do it again, but I don't regret it either. It was... If you've never been too fucking high, I highly recommend it. Because it's good to know where your limits are. I'm not trying to break my limits either. I've never been the kind of partier to... I don't get blackout drunk. I've never even really vomited being too drunk. I know where the sweet spot is, and I try to stay within it. Don't take drugs that you are not positive where they came from or how they came to be. Looking back, drinking that lemonade shot was dumb because I didn't know this girl. We'd only been hanging out for a couple of months, and I don't know... It could have been anything in there. I'm pretty sure it was just weed. But, like, part of the reason I started to panic is because I started getting the little paranoid thoughts of, like, oh, God, what if she actually drugged me and, like, now I'm going to wake up without a fucking kidney. Fortunately, that didn't happen. So always make sure you know where your drugs are coming from, how much is in them, and what effects you're intended to feel. And if you do find yourself going beyond your limit, you know, provided everything is above board and you weren't like intentionally dosed for malicious reasons. But like if you just get too high because you got too high once, mindfulness is very helpful. Understanding that your body is having a reaction to too much chemicals in your body, and that the things that you are feeling or thinking in that moment do not necessarily represent reality. Like I thought I was going to have a heart attack. I wasn't going to have a heart attack. I was just too high. The problem with having panic attacks and stuff like that whenever you get too high is that there's like this spiral of thoughts going on that if you're not too careful, you'll get sucked into, and like now you're in the fucking whirlpool, and then you have a full-blown panic, and that's no fun for anybody. So keep breathing, be mindful, understand that it will pass, and in the case of just too much weed, remember that like no one's ever died from too much weed. It's not really a thing that happens.
I've done 650 milligrams of Benadryl. You see shadow people, spiders coming in and out of the grounds, fucking... It's just all over the place, man. You're just fucking like full schizo mode. Me wondering what Benadryl would be like and reading a guide on how to take Benadryl and kind of just took 20 pills, was like, fuck it. And it was, yeah.
This one time took my medication and it like made me break out in this like really huge ass rash or whatever. And I swear it was horrible because like my entire like arm turned like green and like yellow for like several weeks straight after taking whatever fucking medication I took, because my doctor kept changing the dosage I was supposed to take, and I guess it was like fucking me up. My entire arm was like green and yellow for like a week. It really hurt. Depending on like the dosage, sometimes it messes with you, especially if you take other medication. Like I think at the time I was taking like allergy medication simultaneously, and she kept changing it. So it was like I used to take 1, then I used to take 3, and then I have to take 2 now. And every single time it gets changed, it like kind of messes up with the way like your body works and stuff like that. So sometimes it'll affect my sleep, or sometimes it'll affect like when I'm hungry or something like that, or sometimes it makes me dizzy. It really depends. I like cried because I thought I was gonna have to get my arm amputated. It was just because she was switching how much I was supposed to take way too fast. Because sometimes you know how your body's supposed to like acclimate to some stuff. It obviously wasn't doing a good job. And then she would change the dose too quickly, and then it was just fucking me up for some reason. 3 weeks with some kind of like cream they gave me. I don't remember what it was called, but it went away pretty quickly.